Okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier. Fucking Hunger Games, the Songbirds, or the Ballad of the Songbirds and Snakes. Oh, what a subtitle. I believe this was a prequel. I believe that the blonde boy, the blonde kid in this thing, is the Woody Harrelson character. Is that accurate? 20 years before the Hunger Games we saw 10 years ago. See, I don't study these goddamn movies. I go to them, I enjoy them, but I don't go home and fucking Netflix and chill with Hunger Games from 12 years ago. I realize that's what put Jennifer Lawrence on the map and all this horse shit. I was trying to remember the lady's name that played the Hunger Games, like the games master in this thing, this one that I saw tonight. She's the lady that was in Fences with Denzel Washington, Viola Davis. Oh, God. So what did I think? I went to this movie tonight. It's a Thursday night. I crammed it into my busy schedule. Basically, because I didn't want to get stuck with it. I didn't want all the fucking Twitters and all the fucks on Instagram and Facebook to post their little opinion blurbs. I wanted to see it with my own two eyes before it could get ruined. And I enjoyed it, okay? And in some bizarre way, one of the more interesting aspects of my enjoyment tonight was kind of the redemption of this young actress who kind of talked too much on the red carpet, did not get any help from her buddy there, Gail Gadot. I'm talking about Rachel Zegler, I believe her name is. Now, was she in West Side Story? Was that the deal? The whatever the fuck it was, or the musical, or whatever the fuck. But I guess she's, big and powerful and famous now. She's very young, but she made this horrible error as an actor or as an actress. She basically, put down her own project. That's one thing, actors, I'll tell you. You never destroy your own project, because it's not just your project, it's other people's projects. Namely, the producers with all their money, the directors with their vision, and your co-actors, and the crew, the hardworking crew for these things. So Rachel made a horrible mistake. Now, she didn't put down her own version of Snow White, but she did something that might even be almost as bad or even worse. She put down the original source material, the beloved Disney film. Now, Rachel made a typical error of young people. She mistook her values and her priorities and her value system. She mistook that for pertaining to the whole world. And, the fucking Snow White has to be that the leader she has to be, and she's not just waiting around for some dude with some magic D to drive into her. All her feminist agenda, thoughts on Snow White. It's okay to have those opinions, Rachel. In fact, it's good that you do. But when you cram those opinions down the fucking throat of the common man, the common woman, the common non-conforming gender person in this world, they get upset and they blackball you and you get canceled. So the poor girl, she may never work in this town again until she does, but I'm going to give her credit, because in my own slanted view, I was a little, I didn't think of her as a bad person. I just thought, this is a entitled actress. She has no clue how hard it is for people with more talent than her, namely me, to get a big starring role in a movie, and she's taking this fucking all for granted. She's living in this fantasy fucking world, and now her balloon's getting popped by the assholes on Twitter and everywhere else, and YouTube. But guess what? She's a good actress. Very good actress. I found her, I'll compare her to a recent other film that I watched, which I didn't think the actress was that great in. Not that she's a horrible actress, but the movie I watched the other night, the horror film, God, what was it called? It was the horror film. I just saw it the other night. I just reviewed it. Oh, God, it wasn't, still haven't seen the Freddy 5 Days thing. This was, if I stop talking, I could let myself remember. I just saw it like 2 nights ago. What the fuck was it? Oh, It's a Wonderful Knife. The actress in that, No offense, I'm sure she's going to have a great career, but Zegler in this, destroys her. Okay, not to compare two people against each other, but I just did. Zegler was very good in this, and she's doing like this, whatever the fuck, Minnie Pearl voice, or like fucking whatever the fuck, Arlo Guthrie. She's like this folk singer, like twang, and she pulls it off. I mean, Christ. I mean, so I don't know. I think this is a thing where if people hate Zegler, and how can you hate this girl? She's 17 years old. Yes, she put her foot in her mouth and ate her toes on the red carpet. But who hasn't said something stupid, let alone when you're 17 years old, okay? So I'm going to give her a nice big Mike Messier pass. Interesting, though, I did see a little conspiracy theory in this thing. Look how fucking big my arms are, by the way. Rachel Zegler is in this Hunger Games prequel, and here's Mr. Peter Dinklage, of all people. He's in this thing. Very good performance by Mr. Dinklage, okay? But wasn't it Mr. Peter Dinklage who 3 or 4 years ago kind of put his foot down against Disney and said, why are they making this Snow White movie? It's very insulting to people with dwarfs ism and little people and dare I say midget. So he was very outspoken, and Disney listened to him. And my buddy there, Hornswoggle, who I reviewed his book, he was upset because he wanted to play a dwarf in the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs movie. But suddenly, from what we've seen in this leaked photograph, these are not dwarfs in the movie. They were human people. But then when Rachel Zegler put her foot in her mouth, then they replace all the real people, or the whatever the fuck, the people, with CGI dwarfs. So now some people conspired to think, well, maybe those people that were not dwarfs or were photographed, and one was a little person and 6 were not, maybe they were just stand-ins for the CGI dwarfs. I don't think so. I think they actually were actors in the movie and they've been replaced. So who the fuck knows? That's a whole other story for another time. I think, going back to this movie, I thought Zegler was very good. I mean, I thought she is a thin person, okay? And so they kind of reference that, like, hey, she's hungry. Well, good, makes sense. I mean, shit, you should have... Where were you, Ally McBeal, 20 years ago for this thing? God, what's that actress's name? I'm getting to that point where I can't remember people's names. The lady that was the star of that show, Ally McBeal, Clarissa Flockhart. Ooh, you thought you had me, assholes. So Clarissa Flockhart, she could have been really good in the Hunger Games because, no offense, but she always looks like she could use a little sandwich and some potatoes or potatoes. In any event, fun movie. No, it wasn't really a fun movie. So that's the thing with a lot of these modern day, like, sequels, prequels, dequels. They're not really fun. That's just like, oh, this is brooding. And I mean, in this movie, you see kids getting crucified, hung, for Christ's sakes, shot in the back, snakes eating children. I mean, it's a pretty demented fucking movie if you sit there and you think about it. And it's like, why is this the movie that all the kids are going to go rush out and see? I mean, I guess there's... somebody told me recently that human beings... I think my new friend there, Ross, of the Hump Day Calls podcast, of which I'll be on January 4th. I think Ross's theory, or something that he heard... I mean, nobody thinks of anything. You just heard something and then you regurgitate it. But he was telling me that people enjoy seeing other people suffer. So, I mean, when you think about it, when you're listening to these podcasts like I do of true crime, the Bakersfield 3 is what I'm listening to now. When you listen to these things or you watch these, missing people shows or Dateline NBC and all this crap, you're enjoying the suffering of others. And with something like the Hunger Games, I believe this one was a lot more violent than the fucking one from 10 years ago. Like, this seemed a lot more violent, a lot more deaths, more creative deaths. I mean, unless I'm forgetting, because I think I saw the Hunger Games, I think there was 2 or 3 10 years ago. But I just think the deaths were just more intense in this. And it's like, we like seeing other people suffer because it's not us. Now, this whole deal of fight for your life, people having to, the commoners or the lower caste having to fight for their survival. We've seen this theme in other movies. I think the first time I saw it in a movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, What was that? The Running Man. Okay. God, I'm good. I get the brains. See, I don't drink the alcohol. I don't smoke the reefer. So I have a wonderful memory. Okay, kids. So The Running Man, Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's the first time. I mean, see, the running fucking the Hunger Games, they never give credit to The Running Man. Then there's been all these other movies. I think Ice-T, the rapper Ice-T was in a movie like this, like The Island or something. There's even a B one with a naked. It's called like Naked Fear. It's like a woman is like a stripper basically, and she wakes up from being a stripper, and suddenly she's on this island getting hunted with a bow knife or a bow and arrow thing. So I mean, this theme of like humans having to fight for their survival. There's been different ways you tell it. Sometimes they're getting hunted. Sometimes they have to fight for their survival. But you know what it all goes back to, folks, what the original source material for this sick, macabre storyline is. It's a short story called The Lottery, and I don't think I can remember the name of the writer. I believe it was a female, however. She wrote this wonderful story called, it's not wonderful, it's pretty sick, but it's called The Lottery, and all these goddamn things. It's about a little village, and once a season, in order to have good luck for the next season, they randomly choose someone through like a pick of the draw or whatever the fuck, and that person gets stoned to death by everybody else, and they believe that it brings good luck to their community. So if you're a scholar, okay, look up The Lottery, and you say, gee whiz, thanks Mike Messier for all your fucking world wisdom. That short story launched 1,000 ships and 1,000 movies, good and bad. The Running Man, I think there was something called Logan's Run, which I haven't even seen, but I know of things that I haven't even seen. That's how intelligent I am. And everything else, The Hunger Games. Look up The Lottery. It's a quick read. I can read it in 10 minutes. You'll probably take 15. But look it up, enjoy it, and tell me what you think in the comments. Because we're trying to build a community here, assholes. So that's it. So I thought Rachel Zegler redeemed herself. Not that she gives a flying fuck what I have to say about her career. But good job, Rachel. Very good. The young man, the young Chad who played the lead guy, I believe the Woody Harrelson character. I could be wrong. He did good. A bunch of other people, a lot of them get killed. Dinklage, of course. The goddamn conspiracy. Okay, so Rachel Zegler, shit bombs on the fucking Snow White movie. And here's Mr. Peter Dinklage, who, before it even got filmed, was shitting on the dwarfs, the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, didn't want dwarfs in it. And here they are together. Dinklage and Zegler. So is there a connection there? Like, we are the actors who worked in the fucking Hunger Games prequel, and we both shat on the Snow White movie in different ways. So what's their connection? Are they having an affair? Hashtag question mark. Okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier. If you do want to watch my movie, One Man and a Camera Films, I should say movies, because there's several. If you want to buy my books, it'd be nice if somebody did, okay? I mean, that person could be you. A Distance from Avalon, Fight or Play Basketball, my wonderful goddamn fucking books. You can buy them. If you're a Kindle Unlimited fucking fuck, you can read them for free. I also have my film advice book, which is invaluable. It's not just valuable, it's invaluable, okay? And my Wrestling with Sanity graphic novel, I published a wonderful lady from Massachusetts, Kate Spain, her book, Bad Girls with Good Tattoos. So all things are coming up rosy. You can also go to the Foreign Object on eBay, buy some of my original art, or just some crap that I'm selling on eBay. You can do all these things, or you can just go to some other fucking video I did. You can give this a wonderful thumbs up, or you can give it a thumb in your ass, for all I care. But we've had some fun. We watched a movie, and now we discussed it. It's your buddy Mike Messier signing off. www.